Hotspots highlights nationwide hunger holiday relief efforts showcasing donations, volunteering, and partnerships like Schwab and Harvest Pack to support food insecure families.
Equality Florida honors Nadine Smith's legacy as she departs in 2026. Stratton Politzer becomes CEO, guiding the organization's next advocacy chapter.
A 25-year review finds LGBTQ plus people face higher police stops, mistreatment, and false accusations, causing many to avoid seeking law enforcement help.
Trump lashes out at Marjorie Taylor Greene amid rising pressure that lead to the release of the Epstein records, fueling claims he's desperate, erratic, and blocking transparency. Will he sign the near-unanimous congressional vote?
Ossé, black gay New York City council member, is exploring a primary run against Hakeem Jeffries, sparking debate within Brooklyn's left. All this important LGBTQ plus news and more this evening on Queer News Tonight. Welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ plus daily news television show broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming channels.
Analytics company vidIQ has certified the Queer News Tonight YouTube channel as the world's most popular LGBTQ streaming news show. Our queer stories have reached over 11 million views.
We're proud that Queer News Tonight has more YouTube subscribers than any other LGBTQ brand in Florida.
We thank you for watching and supporting our voice and our rainbow family. There is no other news program in the LGBTQ world like Queer News Tonight.
It is Wednesday, November 19th. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we'll tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
You're watching Queer News Tonight, the world's first daily LGBTQ evening news show.
Welcome to the world's most important LGBTQ plus evening news show.
Hotspots Magazine Happening Out Television Network is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same model as PBS and NPR, but created for the LGBTQ community.
Our nonprofit mission is to support the 11 pillars of our community. We want to inform and educate the key issues about our lesbian, trans, Latino, Black, healthcare, seniors, students, faith, social justice, business, and queer culture. Help us support our diverse community. We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ nonprofit media companies in America, Hotspots Magazine and Happening Out Television Network.
In 2025, our magazine is celebrating 40 years of the LGBTQ experience, and Queer News Tonight is celebrating our 5th anniversary with more than 11,000 LGBTQ television stories. We present South Florida's major LGBTQ events, including Pride Fort Lauderdale, Stonewall Pride, and Pride Fest. Our magazine, events, television news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ and broader community.
In 2025, more than 100 community leaders will sit at this very table and share their voice as our anchors. Together, we host this show to support the LGBTQ plus community. Let's meet this evening's anchors at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome back to the table anchor TriniDaddy. He's a violinist and pianist with the Miami City Ballet and is the program director for the Seminole Theater Players in Homestead. Trini, South Florida Symphony rings in the holiday season with Messiah and Holiday Pops. Tell me what's happening out.
Well, the South Florida Symphony Orchestra ushers in the holiday spirit with its beloved annual tradition, Handel's Messiah Part 1, including the iconic Hallelujah Chorus, paired with festive Holiday Pops favorites. The performances feature standout guest vocalists Catherine Henley, Maggie Renee, Christopher W. Waite, Neil Nelson, and the powerful South Florida Symphony Chorus. Audiences can enjoy a free pre-concert chat with Dr. Alan Mason, offered 30 minutes before each performance for added insight into Handel's timeless work. This seasonal celebration takes place Saturday, December 6th, 2025 at 7:30 p.m. at the Parker in Fort Lauderdale and Sunday, December 7th, 2025 at 4 p.m. at the Broad Center at Barry University in Miami Shores. South Florida Symphony is the largest professional orchestra serving Broward, Miami-Dade, and Monroe counties. More details at southfloridasymphony.org. Well, we're not at Thanksgiving yet, but we're about to ring in the Christmas spirit, right? So we have one more week left for Thanksgiving, and then we are doing our annual tradition of the Messiah, which kind of rings in the Christmas spirit, at least for me, when you hear everybody stand up and sing hallelujah. I don't know if you all know, but in the Messiah, the tradition at the end of all of that you're listening to, all the soloists and the symphonies, that everybody in the audience stands up and they sing hallelujah, and nobody really knows how to sing it.
Well, can you do it so I can know? Because I'm going to be in the audience when they do it at Barry, because it's right by my house, right? So that's December 7th. And I don't want everybody to stand up in the audience and me not be a part of it. So
Well, all you have to do is just the hallelujah. Just
that's it.
that part, and
Okay.
the rest of it you could just, watermelon.
Watermelon.
You know what watermelon is? When you don't know the words to a chorus,
Okay.
a little
I
piece,
do.
you just go,
Watermelon.
And smile, right? And
Yeah,
just
yeah,
smile.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Good. All right.
put
I'm
your
in.
fist up.
Yeah.
And it won't just be classical Messiah. Like, we do a bunch of holiday favorites too. So you're going to hear
that.
with the orchestra. It reminds me of what's that guy's name? Andy Williams.
Okay.
Remember those records
Yes.
when we were kids?
But Lewis does.
When we were
you guys were kids.
Yeah. Like the old
me and
records
Dino, 'cause we're so
of
young.
like Nat King Cole and that kind of music. We do that kind of stuff too. And then we do the classical part of it, which
Do you
is
play the
Messiah.
violin?
I do.
He plays
I
everything.
play the violin. I didn't see the video, but I'm probably in that video.
Well, every year for the last couple of years, you've told us about this. You were the first one to even school me on the Messiah and how important it was every year. And like now, it's like a focal point to me because it tells me that the season is here.
season.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's time.
We're
you know?
like losing tradition a little bit. I'm not the biggest tradition person, but I do think there needs to be some staples every year wherever you go, like the Nutcracker.
The
Yes,
Nutcracker.
that's
you know,
for me. That
it
for
just
me is-
makes everybody feel like we're part of a community and we're somehow connected to one another when we go to these things together.
And the symphony brings everybody together, all ages, all backgrounds, all sizes and shapes, and everybody just one in room and enjoying all this joyful music that the great symphony brings to us.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Symphony's amazing. I think they had their opening not too long ago
Yeah,
for
a
the
few weeks
season,
ago.
and just ridiculously amazing. I saw Jacqueline Lorber. Her and her beautiful wife are just like a power badass lesbian couple that I want to be. Like they're just they're both so talented and so wonderful, and you could feel it when they're on stage.
Yeah,
you
when
know?
she came home from the South Florida Symphony concert, she said, "Teresa, step it up.
Step it up, come on, let's go. What are you doing?
I need
You're
a
not-
CEO in this house."
What are you orchestrating over there? Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you all at South Florida Symphony's Messiah and Holiday Pops in December. Let's welcome my favorite Venezuelan and my brother from another mother. He really is, Dino Mosquera. He joined the Miami Gay and Lesbian Film Festival in the late 90s when he was only like 4 years old, right? And now serves on the Outshine Film Festival's board of directors. Welcome back to the show, Dino. I'm surprised that you're here, Papi. Shouldn't you be like on vacation, touring the world or something, or getting married somewhere at this point? Like you're always traveling.
I'm here for the week.
Where are you off to next?
I'm going to the Northeast for Thanksgiving. So.
Oh, how beautiful. Are you going to see the Macy's Thanksgiving Parade?
No, I'm going to Philly, so near Philly.
Okay, but why do you say it like that? Like, are you hiding from somebody? Like, he's
No.
going to Philly. He's going to Philly. Like, and don't tell nobody. He's going to Philly.
No,
You know what I mean?
I'm going to Delaware for Thanksgiving, yeah.
Okay, but I want you to understand that Philly and Delaware are two separate places.
Right, but I'm going to be south of Pennsylvania and north of Delaware.
It sounds like he doesn't want to exactly
I
say
know,
who he's going to go
right?
see. You don't want to blow up somebody on television here, so we'll respect your privacy.
Exactly.
Bueno, it's nice that you're celebrating your Dia de Acción de Gracias somewhere else,
thank
all right?
you.
And we appreciate you being back at the table at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome to the table anchor Luis Rodriguez. Luis Rodriguez for my Latinos out there, all right? Born and raised in Miami, Luis A. Rodriguez is deeply rooted in South Florida's LGBTQ plus community. A graduate of the University of South Florida, he serves as office manager at Twist Nightclub, baby. Whoop, whoop, hasta las 5 de la mañana. Dedicated to service, Luis has volunteered with numerous organizations and currently sits on the board of directors for both Miami Beach Pride and the Outshine LGBTQ plus Film Festival, that are two organizations that we love here at Queer News Tonight. Luis, so Cyclists are going to gear up for 2025's Joyride, benefiting HIV services across Florida on November 21st. Tell me what's happening out.
The 2025 Joyride rolls out on November 21st to 22nd, taking cyclists on a thrilling 2-day, 165-mile journey across Florida. Riders will pedal 100 miles from Orlando to Lutz on day 1, followed by a 65-mile push to vibrant downtown St. Petersburg on day 2. Organized by FAB Adventures, the event continues to pledge to return 100% of participant-raised funds to 5 HIV service organizations: Broward House, Compass, Empath Partners in Care, Miracle of Love, and Pride Lines. Learn more at thejoypridefl.org. This is really close to my heart since when this was a smart ride back when from Miami to Key West, did the ride 6 times. I was also on the one of the cruise one year, so it's very close to my heart. Give a Shift is with the team from Broward House. Mile Markers is a team from the Keys. They're returning, and these organizations and these people spend their time, their money to go up and physically do something to raise money for all these organizations and places that give services back to the community. Especially now when funds are being taken away, they help raise funds to keep the services going. Yeah. Broward House, Pride Lines, Miracle of Love, they all give back to the community and give services to everyone from teenagers to the elderly. So if you can, donate, support, and they'll keep taking donations even during the ride.
Well, Glenn Weinzimmer is a personal friend of us here at Queer News Tonight. He's also one of the anchors, and he's, what started the Smart Ride, right? And his story always resonates that he was given 6 months, and he was like, hell no, you're not getting me down like that, right? And there's got to be other people like me going through that. What can we do? And he started the Smart Ride, right? And I love that they're still benefiting the same organizations that they were before. It's just constructed a little different, and they're not in Key West. They're actually in a safer terrain, if you ask me, and a much more pretty terrain. They're going to be where? In St. Pete, right?
Yeah, they're going to start in Orlando, go down. It's a beautiful route all the way down. Mm-hmm. And it is a lot safer. And just trying to get more people into it is one of the challenges. But this is the first year they're doing Orlando to St. Pete, and hopefully they'll continue, more people participate in the next coming years.
So you're a fit cyclist, Louis. We didn't know that about you. Now we know it. He's hiding underneath that dress shirt, right?
Are you doing it?
He has done it 6 times.
Done it 6 times, but I'm doing it this year.
So I've always thought this was crazy. Because I live close to Key West. Well, not close to Key West, but closer than all of you do. But it takes me about 2.5 hours by car to drive there. And every time I'm driving down to Key West, I think these Smart Ride people bike. And I'm like, that's insane. Mm-hmm. And I just think I could never do that. But I see the people that are doing some of these Smart Rides, and they're not like the crazy Lance Armstrong type. They seem like just regular people.
Just a little bit of everything.
And it seems like it's actually doable if you just, put one foot in front of the other. And just, I'm kind of curious. Maybe I can do it too. I go to the gym. I don't know.
You pace yourself and hydrate. And if you're not peeing, you need to hydrate.
No, I used to work at Care Resource, and a lot of people from Care Resource supported the Smart Ride because Glenn was, a dear friend of ours, and they were ladies that I work with, nurses that were in the 60s, 70s, and they were doing this.
And they were doing it. I think all you need is a good group of people, right? And some people do start practicing or getting ready, right? Like right after the Joyride, because now it's called the Joyride, right? After the Joyride ends, they start training for the next year. But there's other people that take their time, honey. Yeah. There was somebody on a bike with a little sidecar. I mean, it really is up to your level how you want to go, because there's other that are bikers. You better not get in front of those guys with the really, really, really slim tires. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Big shout out going out to Carvel and Carvel's bikes, right? Because that woman has a stop. Right. At every stop, she helps fix the bikes that go awry. People break, what do you call them? Anything that they break. She's the one that does it in a timely manner and gets them out again.
I thought you were going to say Carvel ice cream. I'm like, no.
There's a great crew. It's like all the guys on the motorcycles and the pit crews and all the cheerleaders and everything that makes this, all the support crew really keep you going.
Yes.
Do you get paid or raise less money if you tap out halfway through?
Nope.
No,
okay.
Because your supporters have already given in the money. I mean, but for your supporters, you want to end it. You want to finish it. Right. You know what I mean?
I might try it one time.
There's some people.
We'll see.
The first year I did it, so somebody says it was a challenge because they said I couldn't do it, and they said you just went out, bought a bike, and did it. I go kinda, and we did it.
But you did it.
We did it.
Right? Well, I was part of the cheer squad, not this last year, the year before. So I drove from each stop. I cheered. And then I cheered, but it meant so much to the riders, right? And then I would give them each a compliment depending on who they were. Nice ass. Wow, your calves look amazing, you know. And you never know like what that does for the confidence of the biker. Some people would stop, some people would get something to drink and then keep on going because they wanted to beat their own time from last year or something like that. Like, it's a little bit of everything. I think you should join it next year. Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at the 2025 Joyride on November 21st and 22nd.
And of course, let's welcome tonight's lead anchor, FayWhat. She is a legendary events host, television and radio personality, and the host of Hotspots Happening Out's The FayWhat Show. Faye, Hunter's Nightclub shines with Glad to Give Gala benefiting SunServe on December 3rd. Tell me, what's happening now?
So Hunter's Nightclub in Wilton Manors will kick off the season of giving with the Glad to Give Gala 2025, a festive evening supporting SunServe. The celebration takes place on Wednesday, December 3rd from 7 to 10 p.m. Guests will enjoy an open bar, hors d'oeuvres, and live music, creating a warm and vibrant atmosphere. Tickets are $75, and thanks to the Florida AIDS Walk's matching program, every dollar donated is doubled, amplifying the impact for SunServe's vital mental health and social service programs. More details are available at sunserve.org/glad. And this holiday season promises to be one to remember, and I can't wait. Gala season is here, and when I think of the Glad to Give Gala, it's like the kickoff for me. Like, I got my dress already ready and I can't wait. And I love that it's at Hunter's, you know. Hunter's is like, it's like our community place, right? And, we all know that galas can be very, very pricey, and SunServe doesn't want you to spend all that money, especially when the holidays are right around the corner. So it's $75 to go to this gala, which is kind of unheard of, when it comes to galas.
And it's an open bar. So I think of how much you feel like you're saving, So it's really like $50, maybe even less, because you're going to have 2 drinks anyways.
Well, but some people will have a lot more than 2 drinks.
True.
And again, open bar, and you get to eat and dress up, and it's all for a good cause. Mental health is real. Okay, and I don't think anybody at this table doesn't know somebody who suffers from it. And SunServe takes care of folks that are LGBT teens to seniors and everyone in between, and helps them with those resources that they so desperately need. So
it's a good opportunity to get together with your friends before the craziness of the holiday start, because it's December 3rd.
Good point.
It's a good opportunity to get together with your friends, give, and then party, and then many people also leave town to go back to their families for the holidays. So the timing is perfect, and it's like a good kickoff for the holidays.
It's a perfect kickoff. And one last thing, you'll go to a gala and you're like, oh no, the program's gonna be long. Here we go, right? And Tony Lima, the CEO, and my dear brother, likes to keep it short and sweet because he wants you to have a good time and he wants you to enjoy the open bar. You know what I mean? And that's what it's all about, right? Being together in community and honestly fundraising the so necessary, funds that SunServe needs. I'm FayWhat, and let's queer up the USA view. Hotspots magazine shines a light on how to help fight holiday hunger. Our Hotspots Happening Out LGBTQ lifestyle magazine, Hotspots, is back with features on how each of us can make a meaningful difference this holiday season. One powerful highlight focuses on nationwide efforts to fight hunger, a struggle affecting more than 47.4 million people across the United States each year. Each holiday season, thousands of Charles Schwab employees mobilize to support families facing food insecurity through meal packing events and nonprofit grants. Kristen Dixon, managing director of Charles Schwab Community Affairs, said, quote, "As we gather with loved ones this season, it's important to remember that not all of our neighbors have that security. By working side by side with local hunger relief organizations, we're helping ensure more families can share in the joy of a holiday meal and the peace of knowing they are supported," end quote. The feature outlines 3 ways readers can take action: donating non-perishable or funds to local food banks, volunteering time to sort, pack, and distribute meals, and supporting community partnerships like Schwab's collaboration with Harvest Pack, which will help pack more than 1 million meals this year. This feature story and many more are included in your free copy of the upcoming issue of Hotspots magazine on stands this Thursday, November 20th. You know, the holidays are not a Hallmark movie for everybody. You know, some of our neighbors are deciding between gifts and groceries, and that's the kind of plot twist nobody asked for, especially this year. You know, I love that Hotspots is spotlighting real practical ways to help. You know, the Pink Nail Society had a food drive, right? Harmony Waves had a food drive. Gray Box Theater had a food drive. Hunters had a food drive over the weekend, right? You know, I am taught at Unity on the Bay that you can give your time, talent, or tithing, right? You can give money if you have it. Give it, right? If you have time, support one of these organizations. I bet you they need people to transport the food to people in need or sorting or whatever it is, you know? Or maybe you can bring in your own non-perishable things. But there's a way for each and every person to help.
I think that's fantastic. I try to volunteer with the military families, Thanksgiving, where you assemble a Thanksgiving package with a turkey and all the dressing and stuff. And then, you know, the military families come there, and you just need people to just put stuff in a box. Like, you don't have to have any real talent, you know, to do it. Like, you just show up and it feels good. You know, it's one of those things where you meet people in your community that you never knew about, and you make connections that end up lasting. I've met so many people in these events that I end up seeing all around town now whenever I'm in the grocery store or something like that.
Yeah.
It makes you feel really good. It's something that we all need to be doing as citizens of our city. If you are saying to yourself, like, you haven't volunteered for anything, you need to do something. You know, if it's not this, it's something else. Like, we all are supposed to be helping our city. And I'll tell you, my mom, I grew up in a house where, like, hunger was the thing that you were not allowed to have anybody within your sight. If you were going down the street and you see a homeless person, my mom would always say, you have to help somebody.
Aww.
Because she grew up in Trinidad. She was kind of a well-to-do family, but there was so much poverty there.
Of course.
And she grew up with that, and she said, anytime you see somebody that's hungry, you have to feed them. It's like a must.
Yeah.
You know, so I grew up with that.
I think we're in a very particular time right now, finishing, you know, this federal shutdown that we just had just a week ago. And, you know, families were struggling and they had to use their savings.
Yep.
You know, people that were going paycheck to paycheck, you know, they're basically just barely making it right now. So the time couldn't be, you know, better for these food, you know, sources to be offered to people that need it. And, you know, we go through this every year. We have, you know, especially in Miami, in places like Miami, when the disparities are so broad, you know, between the
rich and the people who don't.
That don't, you know, and it's Miami is one of those places. And then we look down at the people that don't, and, you know, like the city outlaws, you know, even people, but, you know,
it's against the law to be homeless.
Right, against, or, you know, begging for money.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't just be this time, but, you know, we create laws to get away from those people. And it shouldn't be that way. I think that we should, you know, be more conscious about this year round, not just, you know, for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, but have you been to the grocery store lately? I mean, everything is just so expensive, you know? You're saying that, like, we shouldn't just do this during the holidays. Well, let me just point out that we are on the Sunshine Cathedral, right? A plaza right now, right? And every Wednesday, they've been giving away food, okay? All year. They've been giving away food every Wednesday. They give somebody a whole bag of groceries with enough food to last them at least a week or two, right? And they have said, Reverend Ann has said that the amount of people have doubled.
I believe it.
Yes.
Okay, and at this last Wednesday, almost tripled, right? And they start at 11 a.m. If you hear me and you are food insecure, you can come right here to Sunshine Cathedral and grab a bag of groceries. I mean, it's, you know, people are choosing between, like, do I pay rent or do I get food for my kid? And that should not be something that you have to decide. You know, it shouldn't.
And with the prices that are coming for your health insurance, you know, things are going to be really very difficult coming January. So.
If you can't help your neighbors directly, help them indirectly by donating, volunteering. And if you know somebody has needs assistance, then they can use this as a place to get some guidance as to where to go to get assistance.
Yeah, spread the word. Put it on your social media so that people who may not want to admit that they're having the problems that they're having, because you might think that they're okay because they were for a while and then now they're not. So if you put up the resources on your social media, you know, they can help.
And you can't even tell, right? It'd be like, oh, you're thinking that your gay boy's on a diet because, a lot of gay boys don't eat because they're trying to stay slim, right? And then it's like, no, there's a food insecurity. There's a food insecurity there. And it's just sad, all right? It really is.
I'm TriniDaddy, and let's queer up South Florida and Florida. Equality Florida announces leadership transition as Nadine Smith takes national role. Equality Florida is marking a major transition after 28 years of visionary leadership. Co-founder and executive director Nadine Smith will step down in January 2026 to become president and CEO of Color of Change, the nation's largest online racial justice organization. The group says it is, quote, profoundly grateful for her decades of courage, innovation, and unwavering commitment to building a better future for all LGBTQ Floridians, end quote. The board of directors has named longtime co-founder Stratton Politzer as the organization's next CEO and executive director. Stratton is expected to lead Equality Florida into what the group calls a strong new era of determination and advocacy. As the community honors Nadine's trailblazing legacy, Equality Florida invites supporters to share farewell messages and make a special celebratory gift. More details available at eqfl.org. Well, hats off to Nadine Smith. She has been in this organization and a co-founder for 3 decades.
Yeah, 28 years, kid.
That's amazing first of all, for an organization to even be going that long, much less being a part of it and being the head of it. She was also in 2022 in Time Magazine's list of 100 most influential people in the world. She was also the co-chair of the 1993 March on Washington. This is a mover and shaker. And when I see how long she's been in this service world, I saw her picture of her. She don't look that old. Because black don't crack.
She's like you.
I looked at it.
You guys both look 10.
I looked at it. I was like, how can she have done this for 3 decades? She only looks like she's like 40 something, And I'm like, wow. So that's so amazing. I was combing through everything to see if there was maybe there's some kind of scandal or something like that. But this woman seems like one of the most up and up, like the people that you want to be in leadership, finally actually got there. And she's only leaving there so she can be a part of Color of Change as the CEO, which is another amazing trailblazing organization that started, I think, in 2005 in response to Hurricane Katrina and seeing the injustices and the difference between how the minority communities were treated in a national disaster versus how they are in other states. So I think it's amazing. I think she's going to do amazing work there. Politzer, you've got big shoes to fill, but I know you can do it, and I'm sure you're going to lead this chapter in the next era of amazing service to our communities.
Well, and Stratton has been there a million years as well, and I know that Nadine would not be able to leave without leaving this in good hands, right? And I think that she has done that, Nadine being there for 28 years, she's a freaking badass, all right? She's a badass. She's somebody that I'm like, yeah, BIPOC, lesbian, yeah, I'm part of that. Yeah, she's amazing. When Don't Say Gay was, everywhere, she was at the forefront fighting it, her leaving Equality Florida is like Beyonce leaving Destiny's Child, right? That is some big stuff, but sometimes you have to make hard decisions, right? To grow in other avenues of what you're going to be better doing. I mean, she's going to be part of Color of Change. She's going to be the ED, like you said, maybe she wants to focus more on her people. You know what I mean? And you can never think something negative about that.
Absolutely. And the constituency is probably a lot of the same people. So it's not like she's leaving all of these people high and dry. She's helping them through another organization too. So.
She's always been a badass. I mean, a person that I greatly admire. And a woman from Florida, which, we make the news for many bad things in this state, but she's one of those, trailblazers that have fought for, rights for our community. This woman won the 2022 Spirit of Justice Award for the legal advocates and defenders. I mean, she's been fantastic. She's always been, and she's going to continue doing it at a national level. So, kudos to her and good luck to Stratton Policy also that is coming to work in her position. But it's a win-win for us.
Yeah,
So,
I was at the Equality Florida Gala this past Saturday, and Stratton got up there, and there wasn't, how people are always talking in the back? There was nothing. Like, everybody was like, at every word that he was saying, they were just living and gagging at everything that he had in store for us for 2026. So I think this is good news.
It's a testament to her dedication, her mentorship, and her leadership to have an organization last this long, because that means she was able to train people and teach people and get people to take up the causes and stand up for themselves also, because the organization isn't one person. And one person leaving doesn't make the whole program topple. So she had it in a place that this program is going to thrive and survive and grow.
Yeah, and she put Color of Change on my radar. Like, I'm excited now to even follow them and see what else they're going to be doing in the future.
I'm Dino Mosquera, and let's queer up the USA view. New data reveals LGBTQ plus people far more likely to be stopped, searched, and mistrusted by police. A new review from the Williams Institute reveals that LGBTQ plus people in the U.S. are significantly more likely to be stopped, detained, and falsely accused by police, and many now hesitate to call for help when they need it. Analyzing more than 25 years of research, the report shows queer people are more likely than non-LGBTQ plus people to have been stopped, searched, arrested, and held in custody at some point in their lives. According to the lead author, Joshua Arrayales, quote, experiences of police mistreatment may discourage LGBTQ people from reporting crimes or engaging with law enforcement. Reporting crimes is essential for accurate crime statistics, proper allocation of crime prevention resources, and support services that address the unique needs of LGBTQ survivors, end of quote. The report notes that police still use tactics such as raids and entrapment, fueling long-standing distrust. 1/5 of LGBTQ plus people reported police-initiated contact in the past year, compared to 15% of others. Trans and bisexual respondents face even higher rates of stops. Nearly half of trans people said they will hesitate to call the police for help. This has been going on for forever, police entrapment. I mean, for us gay men of a certain age, that we have gone through this, where, police will just tempt gay men, or try to seduce them into basically committing a crime, and then just got you, and take, people, public bathrooms and stuff like that. Parks. This is nothing new. And not just that. I mean, so many people in gay relationships suffer domestic abuse, domestic violence, and they are, very hesitant to contact police because they disregard our relationships as, you just were looking for it. Basically, you were begging for it. So this is something that we as a community have been dealing with. I saw a movie recently. I don't know if you guys seen it, called Plain Clothes. With Russell Tovey.
Okay.
And it's exactly about that, in the early 70s, and how the police used to send these cute guys to the bathrooms to basically trap gay men.
Well, I mean, but I think the story is talking about, again, that, but also being pulled over. I mean, I don't know, I have been pulled over in a car with a drag queen with full drag on, right? And a trans person in the back seat, and have been given shit. Where I've had to get out of the car, show everything, things that I had never had to do in my life, because of other people being in the car, right? And then they wonder why we're afraid to call the cops when something happens. Trans folks are at the top of the awful hate crimes that happen, right? And a lot of times it's domestic violence that occurs, and like you said, the person is afraid to get the police involved, because once, I have a dear friend of mine who's a lesbian. Her and her ex-partner had an issue, and when the police came to her door, they treated them both like shit, and they took them both to jail at the end of it, right? You start telling your friends, and I'm like, why would I call the cops then? So I mean, this story we've been talking about this for years and years. This is not anything new, at least not coming across my desk.
I actually am surprised. because I wouldn't have thought that this would be the case. Because first of all, like I didn't know. I mean, how would somebody know that you're gay if
By
they're about to
driving,
pull
no.
you over? I feel like
Your rainbow license plate or something.
Equality Florida on the back. You know, I feel like maybe it's more skewed towards the trans community of some of the situations that they're more involved in which, you know, the cops may be involved. I call the police all the time. All right, I'm kind of a Karen. Yeah,
On other people.
I'm not on myself.
He's the brown Karen of his neighborhood. You didn't know that?
Look, I'm a see something, say something person. I'm always trying to save
That's safety first.
somebody's life if I can. If something looks like it's a little askew, you know, I'm calling the police and be like, hey, why don't you check things out, you know? And I've always had a great relationship with the police and my neighborhood police. Also, I just felt like gay men in general, it's like if you're looking for the violent crime offender, I'm like, hi guys, you know, like they know it's not me. You know, I do the only territory where it does I may have like a little bit of understanding in this is being accused of something. I've been in education for 25 years, you know, and I'm really careful in school situations or with students that I don't touch kids, you know, which is painful at times because some of these kids, you know, maybe they'll try to give you a hug to, you know, say goodbye
Thank you,
know,
or whatever. Yeah.
And all the women hug the kids and that's fine, you know?
Yeah.
Even some of the straight men will do that. But when it comes to gay men, I just know that we're so targeted. You know, all it takes is one person, one rumor or something, and it could ruin your whole reputation
and your career.
And your career.
Yeah.
You know, so in that regard, I understand it. And, you know.
I'm from an era where, you know, the police used to raid bars where I grew up. And, you know, I was a young gay man and people were taken to the police station. We were just dancing. There was nothing going on, just like a regular club. And people will, you know, people with careers. And then your name will be in the news the next day. You know, they will take your name and report them.
How old are you? Do you know?
Well, I think this information was 20 years ago.
Well, this is the 90s. This was in the 90s when I used to go to clubs as a young gay man.
In America?
No, back home.
Oh, okay.
You know, back home. But I mean, there were things here like this.
It did happen in America.
It happened here too.
Yeah.
So, you know, and they will take you to the police station, and the next day they will find out at work, you know, you could lose your job.
Yeah.
You know, this is the
Watch
time.
Fellow Travelers. You'll love it.
Yeah, go back to Stonewall. That's, you know, they raided the place and then
Right.
you weren't allowed to dance. You weren't allowed to be dressed in drag. You weren't allowed anything.
Yeah. Yeah, but remember, there was a point in this world where a woman couldn't wear pants, okay? And she could also be. So, you know, our relationship with the police, as much as we want to say is getting better, sometimes it's just not, you know, and it's a work in progress. And unfortunately, sensitivity training is not something that's given, and many people should have it, especially law enforcement.
I'm Luis Rodriguez, and let's queer up politics. Trump explodes at Marjorie Taylor Greene as Epstein pressure mounts. President Donald Trump unleashed an erratic late-night rant, abruptly yanking his endorsement of Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene and attacking the once loyal MAGA ally as a, quote, ranting lunatic, unquote. His Truth Social post also veered into anti-trans rhetoric, claiming his administration achieved, quote, no men and women's sports or transgender for everyone, unquote, a line that landed harshly with LGBTQ viewers. The meltdown comes as scrutiny intensifies around still-sealed Jeffrey Epstein files that the Trump administration continues to withhold. Newly released emails have raised fresh questions about Epstein's ties to powerful figures, including Trump. Representative Robert Garcia, the top Democrat on the Oversight Committee, told The Advocate that Justice Department is essentially engaged in a, quote, a massive cover-up, unquote, and that Trump is clearly panicked. Greene, one of 4 Republicans pushing a bipartisan effort to force the release of all unclassified Epstein materials, publicly broke with Trump over the records. His tirade accused her of complaining, mocked her relevance, and claimed she'd moved, quote, far left, unquote. Greene hit back on Twitter saying, quote, President Trump just attacked me and lied about me. Apparently, this is what sent him over the edge. The Epstein files. It's astonishing really how hard he's fighting to stop the Epstein files from coming out, unquote. Greene, along with both the House and Senate, passed legislation yesterday that will mandate release of all documents related to the Epstein files. It passed nearly unanimously, we wait to see if President Trump will sign and release the documents. And as of this reading, the documents are going to be sent to the president, but we don't know what's going to happen with those. I'm glad that our Congress was able to at least pass something together.
Except that turd, Clay Higgins.
The one.
The turd.
Yep.
The disgusting man that says it's okay basically to be a pedophile.
One left. But it's so glad, I guess the one good star in this, that they can show that actually work together and get something done. And how come they haven't done this in the past years? Get something done. At least now they know you can do it. So now they can't lie that they can't.
Yeah.
I mean, I still think the jury's out on Marjorie Taylor Greene. I mean, I still have my reservations about her, but I applaud what she's doing here. I mean, you can, recognize the effort here. But it goes to tell you, in Trump's world, his only currency is that you are loyal to him.
Yeah.
Not to the country, not to the victims, not to the Constitution, only to him. And this is a message to the people like Nancy Mace, like Lauren Boebert, people that eventually you're going to say something that is not going to be good for him, and he's going to go after you. And, this is I guess, an example or a lesson for all Republicans that are on that band, not like the MAGA crowd, but, the ones that are more, logical and, more rational, that eventually, they're going to have to do something about it because they're just all afraid of Trump and afraid of how he's going to, react when it's time for their re-elections and who's going to endorse.
And his main deal is always going up against anybody who doesn't agree with him, right? Basically annihilating anybody who doesn't agree with him, and that's it. I mean, when I saw Marjorie Taylor Greene on The View, right, when I knew she was coming on, I got my popcorn. I was like, all right, there's going to be a battle. She was like a shy 12-year-old girl. I was blown away, and I knew that she was with other, she was with other strong women, and I wasn't expecting that. And I don't think Trump was either, right? And I think that Trump had tweeted or had sent her a message right after that saying basically she folded like a lame duck, and that she didn't represent the country or him how he expected her to. I mean, this is Trump. He's never going to see eye to eye or think that he is an equal to a woman. Ever. Mm-hmm. Ever. Okay. Calling people piggy. What is wrong with this man? This is completely crazy.
So I've been watching everything Marjorie Taylor Greene for the past couple weeks since she's kind of done this little flip. Right. And I've been monitoring all the conservative chats, right? Because I want to see how is MAGA reacting to her? And it seems like they're taking her side over Trump.
Shut up.
Yes.
For real?
Because nobody can accuse Marjorie Greene of not being MAGA. She was their kind of ringleader. They kept pointing to Marjorie Taylor Greene. So she was leading them a little in the same way that Trump was. So when they see that Trump is turning on her, and what is he turning on her against? The release of child sex predator rings, which is something that QAnon, which is a big part of the MAGA base, has been talking about kind of irrationally for a long time.
Yeah.
So when something actually an actual pedophile ring is there that we can prove with victims speaking out, it's like finally that cognitive dissonance that they've been having about Trump is like, all right, this is coming to a head. She's actually representing what we were talking about and what we thought Trump was going to represent for us. So they seem to be siding with her a little bit more. And I love the change in demeanor. And I'm trying to think, what does that mean? Because obviously she's a spitfire person.
Yeah.
She's always speaks her mind. And it shows that she's capable of restraint, which I didn't think that she was capable of that kind of restraint, to let people talk, to be considerate and to
be cordial, to be, So she was almost on the brink of being likable, Trini.
And she was very if you didn't know who she was, you would like her. And I think, this is my calculus, is that she is actually way more powerful than Trump is going to be, because she has, it's like that Cersei Lannister kind of power, right?
Game of Thrones, folks, Game of Thrones.
Yeah. She's like, you know what? I'm going to come up with my own acronym. So she went from MAGA. She has her, what's it called? America First, America Only, AFAO. And she's like, this is what it's actually supposed to be. So she's trying to brand that over MAGA. And she's showing this restraint that because Trump obviously didn't want her to run for the Senate and wouldn't endorse her. So she's like, I'm going to show you what I can do through quiet restraint. And he is losing his shit over it. She's winning. She is winning.
And she's up for re-election next year. How was Joy Behar with her at The View?
Joy, she was ready to rip her a new one, but I mean, she answered everything legitimately and calmly, and like I said, almost on the brink of being likable.
They all said like we were ready to like we want to hate you, but we can't. Well, you're saying you're speaking truth.
This may be a master move by.
She hired somebody new for PR.
I think she may end up moving very high. She may even run for president one day.
Must be. Before we end the segment, I just wanted to mention Virginia Jeffries, and I'm sorry if I say her name wrong, right? But she was the first trailblazing whistleblower against Epstein. She's the one that you saw on all the videos that unfortunately ended her own life at the beginning of this year because she could no longer live on this earth with everything that was happening around her, right? Release the files and her death will not be in vain.
I'm TriniDaddy, and let's queer up politics. Out black politician Ossé eyes Jeffries' seat, shaking up New York's political left and gay community. In a move that could reshape Brooklyn politics, Ossé, the 27-year-old black gay New York City Council member and rising progressive voice, has filed paperwork to explore a primary challenge against House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries in New York's 8th Congressional District. Ossé told Axios, quote, "The Democratic Party's leadership is not only failing to effectively fight back against Donald Trump, they have also failed to deliver a vision that we can all believe in. These failures are some of the many reasons why I am currently exploring a potential run for New York's 8th Congressional District." Ossé's path into politics began as a Black Lives Matter organizer. Elected at 23, he became the youngest member of the city council and its only Gen Z representative. Known for bold fashion, including Met Gala appearances and outspoken progressive policies, he champions innovative and human-centered public safety solutions, housing affordability, and anti-overdose protections in nightlife spaces. His potential run has stirred tension among progressives. Some allies, including Mayor-elect Zoran Mamdani, have urged caution, while others warn that challenging Jeffries now may divide the left. Jeffries' team, however, says they, quote, "welcome this primary challenge and look forward to a rigorous debate," end quote. So I looked up the story a little bit to see who might be on a side and who is not on a side, and AOC is not on a side. Hakeem Jeffries fielded some questions about his challenge to his seat a few weeks ago, I think, and he just dismissed it. So now I think he's like, well, if you really want to, you can. And some other progressives have said this is really not the time, and I agree with that. The platforms that he's running on in New York is what Mamdani is running on and what he won on, what he campaigned on.
As a socialist.
Yeah, as a democratic socialist. So he's already furthering these platforms. I agree that we don't need any more chaos within the group. Hakeem is not some conservative Democrat.
No.
I mean, he's a strongly progressive Democrat, but he may not be quite as far to the left as Zoran is. So I think the whole country is looking to see what Zoran Mamdani is going to do in the next 2 years. And if his policies are working, then I think the rest of the country is going to adopt. And so I think we're all waiting to see how he does before we make our next move on how progressive or how much closer to the center we get. And so I think this is kind of unnecessary right now. His platforms that he wants to run on have already been run on and campaigned. We're in the process of implementing those things. And I think this is just a distraction. But at the same time, it's America, and anybody who wants to challenge, I do probably agree more with his political views, and he may even be a better candidate than Hakeem Jeffries. But just right now is not the best timing, and we know that timing is everything. The Republicans know that. That's how we got to where we are now, and so we just need some winning strategies.
Right, I guess because he's going against the minority leader for the Democrats. I mean, Zoran Mamdani went against a guy like Cuomo, who has been vilified for many years now, even though, he's a very important Democrat in the state of New York, but he was going against the establishment. I agree. The time may be. I'm suspicious to learn why AOC is not totally supporting him because she supported Mandani.
Yeah,
and
she must have her reasons, girl.
Right, she
has her reasons.
They must, but I'd like to know which are the reasons because Bernie Sanders too supported Mandani. You know, they were on that bandwagon of the socialist democrat policies, and so but again it may be that he's too naive or too not ready, but it made me think of this kid David Hogg for some reason. You know, this kid that came out of the Parkland massacre here in Florida is now running, to become, part. In fact, wasn't he running for like the Democrat, like very high up in the Democrat, the position that this woman here in Florida hosts, which is basically running for leadership within the Democratic Party, which is needed from the new wave of, younger minds
people.
that we need to get into the space. We're tired of having Chuck Schumer, and people like Mitch McConnell running, at 85 years old and still running for these positions. There is time now for the new generation to have an opportunity.
100%, but it's not right now, at this second.
Maybe not in that position because he's running against Hakeem Jeffries.
No, and that's not a small feat, Right. So Ossé running at 27 is the kind of political energy America desperately needs, just like the boys were saying, right? So it's bold, it's queer, it's black, it's unapologetic, right? And not afraid to shake up a system that's been napping since dial-up internet. But challenging Jeffries, that's not a quiet decision. You know what I mean? That's something that you're saying really loud. But democracy isn't supposed to be polite. If Gen Z wants a seat at the table, sometimes they've got to move a centerpiece over. Okay, so I'm here for the debate. Bring it on. LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up gay culture. Odyssey Pride unveils details for first ever Black gay cruise experience. Odyssey Pride has revealed new details for what it calls the world's first cruise designed for the Black gay community. The 7-day all-inclusive voyage aboard, of course, Virgin Voyages' Valiant Lady departs San Juan on October 31st, 2026, after a pre-party on October 30th. Stops include Curacao, Aruba, Martinique, and St. Kitts and Nevis. Entertainment will feature a Grammy Award-winning R&B legend, a drag royalty, celebrity hosts, and international DJs, plus theme parties. A Prosper conference will bring together Black trailblazers. Prices start at $4,399 for solos or $4,262 per person per shared cabins. More details are available at odysseypride.com. Bring it on, baby. This is going to be awesome. 7 days all inclusive with a bunch of BIPOC people. It's going to be a party. I want to know who that Grammy Award R&B person is. Is it Usher?
No.
No? Is it genuine? No? Is it Little Kim? Who is it?
All I could think about is when they have to submit their passport, if they're like, you know what, there are too many white people sneaking on this cruise. We're going to have to reject some of you. I don't know.
This is a response to cruises like Atlantis.
Yeah.
Atlantis is, and I've taken Atlantis for the last,
many years.
I know what is
he
like
knows.
I've taken 22 cruises with Atlantis. Okay, so, and it is very white. So, there's some, there's Latinos, obviously, but there are few black people.
Very few
black people. And it's not very welcoming to people of color, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
So I could understand, I'm not, I hope they're not just, they can't prohibit white people or other people, other color, to join. But I could understand why they want to do a cruise with their own peers. So I think it's just understandable, and it's, more power to you. And I hope Bob the drag queen is the drag queen that will be hosting it, a big one, very loud, black drag queen, and they have a ball. I hope it's great. So more power to them.
It's a different itinerary that takes them to other places because you don't want to go to Bahamas all the time. You don't want to go to Mexico all the time. So it's a good thing. And they're leaving on Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
So
So how perfect is that? So your first day is already fun-filled with a bunch of costumes and fun.
Mm-hmm. No, it's great.
Listen, Black Pride, make it happen.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up entertainment. Candace Cain warns, quote, studios aren't writing new trans characters. Trailblazing trans actress Candace Cain is sounding the alarm on Hollywood's retreat from trans representation. She said, quote, "There's now notes going around the company saying that we're not hiring any new trans characters. There's nothing being written for trans people," blaming the political climate. Despite once opening doors for many, she now sees a, quote, "hard no" for trans people. With few auditions available, Cain is creating her own work, including the new sapphic fantasy Witchy Ways, which is available to rent on Prime Video and Apple TV. So I totally understand it. We are in such a hot button political climate, and trans is the new black, you know? So I do hope that studios are being open more for trans characters playing the gender that they are, as opposed to like we're writing a character that is trans.
Yes,
so
great point.
I hope that stays, because Candace Cain has played a woman, not a trans woman, in many roles. So I hope that they're still open to that, and you know, we'll see how the pendulum swings. You know, hopefully we'll be coming back soon.
I love Candace Cain. I adore her. I have a nasty crush on her. I love her dog Charlie too. I love him. He's adorable. Candace Cain doesn't play. All right. Like if I was a trans actress in Hollywood right now, I would be afraid to speak out like this, right? She doesn't give a shit. She is going to tell you how she feels, how you are not meeting her expectations, you know, and I hold her in such higher regard because of that she's not afraid of somebody saying, "Oh, look, Candace Cain is trying to stir things up. Let's not hire her." You know what I mean? You know, so she's a force to be reckoned with. And that Witchy Ways, you got to watch it. It's really good.
I think that, you know, if they're not including you write your own thing. You produce.
She did.
She did.
Right.
Produce your own shows, and I think she can. She has the pool, you know, the
She
power.
does. Marriott's Mary Productions,
That's
where
right.
half of it is here in Wilton Manors. I mean, they're here trying to do that on a day-to-day. So yes, for sure.
It's fantastic. So, you know, if they don't give you a place in the table, well, get another table.
Get another table, right? Get another chair.
That's right.
And sometimes it's not all based on money. It's based on let us be there. Let us show our art. Let us show people what we can do, and give them the exposure and the time and the place to show their art to everyone and expose it to a bigger audience that they can appreciate it.
Write your networks too. Tell them that you want to see new trans characters, because it's all about, you know, what the media wants in these circles.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's Queer Up Entertainment. 7 shows giving trans kids heroes to root for. Tomorrow is the National Transgender Day of Remembrance, but children's TV with meaningful transgender representation is still rare. There is no bright spots, as 7 standout shows are changing that. Steven Universe introduces Stevonnie, a fusion character who defies gender norm. Dead End Paranormal Park features Barney, a non-binary hero battling haunted cat chaos. Teen favorite Heartstopper includes Elle Argent and Naomi, both trans characters. Reality series I Am Jazz follow Jazz Jennings' real life journey. The Foster spotlights trans actors and storylines through Aaron and Cole. Horror entries Dead of Summer and The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina offer trans characters confronting both identity and the supernatural, all giving young viewers vital representation. I think, you know, this is a sign of our times, you know, but at the same time, I think that, you know, there is more visibility, and you know, sometimes it doesn't come from the U.S., but I watch Heartstoppers. I don't know if you do. Do you watch that?
A lot of people do.
From the U.K. It's a fantastic show, and the trans characters are phenomenal. It's very well written. This is what we need to do. Like we were saying before, you know, if they don't give you a place in the table, get your own table. It's you know, these shows are showing to kids that may be in this you know, situation, we're going through, you know, this transition, and that is something that, yeah, it has their own problems, but you have to see it, you know, so that you empathize with that. And the TV could be very good for that. It could also be very bad, but, you know, if it's well written with, you know, a good intention, kids are going to see themselves reflected there and don't think that they are, monsters. Or,
no, but isn't that awesome for them to just be able to see themselves? You, as a queer young gay man, didn't see yourself as a kid.
Exactly.
Okay, and now here we are all these years later. Trans kids deserve to have their heroes, their sheroes, their theyros, whatever it is, they deserve to. Now, I'll make a note about I Am Jazz, right? I Am Jazz started the shit, okay? She started this, okay? When she was a teenager going through this, she allowed us to be there and follow her journey. Okay, going to college, being a full-fledged adult, and she's still doing it now, and she's in her late 20s at this point, So she's given kids something to reflect, right? Something to go, okay, she did it, I can do it too,
I think most people don't even know that a lot of these shows exist, and I found the search button in Hulu and in Netflix. If you want to support these shows, all you have to do is put in like LGBT or gay or trans or something, and a whole list of shows and series are there. So just by you watching it through there raises the ratings, and it shows to movie houses that, hey, there's a demand for
and
this.
there's an algorithm after that, so you start getting more shows with that theme.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Like in my Netflix, because I watch Heartstoppers, then I get a bunch of other shows that are with a similar theme, so it just pop up, and see if you like them, and then you watch. That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
So.
And again, it's access for the young people, especially in small communities that don't have access, don't have a support to actually see themselves represented somewhere and go, hey, there's someone there like me.
100%.
There is hope for me. There's somebody there like me. I'm not alone. It helps with their mental health, gets them going so they know they're not alone.
I mean, everybody at this table has to remember their moment when you were like, I'm so different. There's nobody like me. And then you meet somebody like you, or you see yourself. It's a huge thing.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up entertainment. These queer holiday movies will make your season bright. For the LGBTQ community, Halloween may be gay Christmas, but so is Christmas. Cozy sweaters and spiked drinks pair perfectly with the growing lineup of queer holiday films. These romances feature out actors finding Christmas magic in surprising places. Classics include Make the Yuletide Gay, available on Deku, Scrooge and Marley on Tubi, Shared Rooms streaming on Roku, The Christmas House and The Holiday Sitter on Hallmark Plus, Single All the Way on Netflix, and The Holiday Exchange available on Prime Video. If you're craving festive, sapphic, or gay cheer, these films will definitely stuff your stockings. I think Hallmark Channel, anything with Jonathan Bennett, Tyler Hines, will get you going. They do have some gay actors on Hallmark Channel, which is great. It's also, the holidays are a nice time for people to see some joy in stories, and people that might criticize, why is it gay, why is it not? And I go, it's fun, it's joy. It has nothing to do with physical, sexual, there's no sex on the screen. It's relationships, it's joy, bringing stuff to other people.
It's about the holidays.
And it's that time to feel good. If you notice, people are putting up their decorations up early. So let's start early with the joy.
Yeah, if I had a gay movie, I would call it Noche Buena, Faye is gay, pass the potatoes.
I'm making an appeal to Hallmark that I want a gay Christmas movie that is not about couples for us single guys. There, I like that title, Single All the Way.
There is Single All the Way. That's a good one.
Is that one where they probably finds love or something, right?
And that's a boo?
I don't want. There's a ton, right? I want the one that doesn't find love, but he's super happy, going to everybody's Christmas parties and sleeping
Alone.
by themselves, but like watching something on Netflix, and it's a wonderful time. Make that movie for me, please.
But people that are not white. I mean, because it's all the Hallmark Channel.
You couldn't let it go. You couldn't let it go, dude. Couldn't let it go.
It's all about white guys. I mean, seriously, let's put some, diversity in the Hallmark Channel. I mean, come on.
Okay, but aren't we surprised that it's Hallmark and they're at least giving us some gay content?
Changes are coming. I know.
Changes are coming. It's just happening at a snail's pace. You're absolutely right. Get some brown people in there. LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up the USA view. LGBTQ plus Americans turn to firearms amid rising fears under Trump. A growing number of LGBTQ plus people and other marginalized Americans are turning to gun ownership as fears of Trump-era authoritarianism rise. NPR reports liberals who once rejected firearms now feel unprotected by institutions. The report documents 27 transgender or gender nonconforming people killed this year, most by gunfire. Charles, a black physician in Maryland, now trains weekly, saying the possibility of being targeted, quote, is not out of the question any longer, end quote. Gun rights groups like the Pink Pistols say interest is surging as safety anxieties deepen. And I'm about to start a rainbow militia. Yes, I said it here first. No, joking. Honestly, like after Trump won, right? November was a real tough time, right? And we knew what January was coming. And I knew a couple of drag queens and I knew a couple of gender nonconforming folks that were utterly fearful. With good reason, right? We're still fearful today, right? ICE is real down here in South Florida. They will grab you if you even sort of smell like an habichuela, right? So, you know, it's scary times, right? And the fact that, I'm not going to blow up her spot, but a very well-known drag queen started a Facebook Messenger and was like, listen, let's all get our permits. Let's do this legitimately and let's get trained in firearms because we don't know what this Trump era looks like. You know, so this is the story doesn't surprise me too much, honestly.
I can't believe we're facing this. I mean, you know, because I've always been very against guns. I mean, by principle, not only that I'm afraid of them, but, you know, by principle, I'm against guns. But my boyfriend asked me recently, you know, about, you know, would you, you know, consider getting a gun? And I was like shocked. I didn't know what to say. You know, he's a Democrat too, but, you know, I'm like, a liberal, again, is this the sign of the times?
My wife too, but guns don't kill people. People kill people.
But you know what? There's something. My brother-in-law, he's an ex-police guy. He's got tons of guns. I go up there. I'm shooting with him and my sister, and we're all shooting together. I think it's actually kind of a good way to bridge some gaps in a different way with the MAGA crowd, with those other. Yeah, I think
the NRA people.
Instead of thinking about shooting them, going to the range and shooting with them, you get to know a lot of other people that are big Second Amendment folks, a lot of Republicans, you know, and you actually find a lot more common ground that way when they don't think of you.
And you tell them you're gay?
Absolutely. Absolutely. They're less afraid of that than people think. If you tell them that and you're shooting next to each other, there's something about it that there's some camaraderie.
There's a camaraderie.
Yeah, that like they don't think of you as being this liberal, like you're just saying she, the, he, him, the they, sir, whatever. If they see you with a gun, they're like, okay.
They respect you all of a sudden.
Really.
They think of the possibility of you joining them.
Maybe. Well, I don't know about that, but I think they see you a little bit more like
an American.
Yeah.
Let's
But
go together.
Crazy enough.
in Florida now, you can carry concealed weapons.
Yeah.
So it is a safety issue for many people, especially people in schools. Teachers are worried. People in LGBTQ spaces are worried. But whether you are or against guns, if you're going to get a gun, get trained, get licensed, learn safety. If you're going to get a gun, get trained and learn the safety of it and use it correctly, because that'll save some lives there too.
And don't get killed by your own gun.
Yep.
Just say it. I'm going to say it because that's my concern. If you're going to get a gun and you're not going to know how to use it, you're going to get killed by your own gun. I don't want that. So if you get a gun, train yourself, be responsible, but be ready because you may have to use it. So.
As a nonprofit LGBTQ media organization, we would like to thank our viewers for supporting our mission to tell the stories of the queer community. We'd also like to thank the generous support of Jets Pizza. Jets is the LGBTQ community's most popular pizza in South Florida.
Take a look around these streets. Do you really think we woke up one day and said, yeah, the world needs more pizza? Nah, just a better one. Better, like the world's best pizza, Jets Detroit-style pizza. Hand-pressed and baked to the thickest, crispiest crunch. You're welcome. Now visit jetspizza.com and save. Click on hot deals for special offers in your area. Jets, better because it has to be.
These are today's headlines from Queer News Tonight. Our anchors represent the best of our LGBTQ family.
If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Don't forget to join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform.
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines. We need your support. If our community is to grow and then thrive, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world.
This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Hotspots magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm your anchor, FayWhat, and I thank you for joining us on behalf of my fellow LGBTQ anchors here at Queer News Tonight, including TriniDaddy, Dino Mosquera, and Luis Rodriguez. We will see you daily at 8 p.m. to our LGBTQ plus world. We wish you a good night.
Night.